Hello everybody, my name is Foxy Games and welcome to a game called Hardspace Shipbreaker. In Hardspace Shipbreaker, you do not play as a space captain, you do not play as a pilot, you do not play as a dashing rogue or an unexpected hero, no. You play as a shipbreaker, as in you're working in a dock in low Earth orbit to deconstruct derelict spacecraft. And to do this, we must first join the LYNX company. So let's go ahead and do that. Here we get a tiny glimpse of the state of planet Earth. We have food shortages due to blockades, contaminations. We weren't able to get a job in utilities. Past bill dues. Seems like our father is sick. Any rations to spare? Payments required, medical bills. No credit transfers. And of course the latest, our application with LYNX as a shipbreaker. Greetings, citizen LF-2911805. Congratulations on acceptance into the LYNX Pave the Way to the Galaxy program. From over 124.8 million applicants, you were chosen based on above average or exceptional physical and cognitive ability. Participation in this program can be lucrative and rewarding depending on a willingness to follow the vision and processes of LYNX Corporation. You have been assigned to Salvage Station number 42, designation Morrigan. This station currently has no additional personnel, but if you're able to demonstrate the ability to build and grow a profitable operation, a number of exciting opportunities await you. Remember, employment in the Pave the Way to the Galaxy program is at the sole discretion of LYNX Corporation and can be revoked at any time. Acts of insubordination or malice will not be tolerated. On receipt of your electronic signature, a shuttle will be deployed immediately to your current location to deliver you to your post. Training will commence immediately on arrival. Finalize your info on the following pages to confirm employment. So it seems we have a job. It is currently November 9th, 2329. Account name. LYNX Work Effort Tracking and Employee Social Hub require an employee account name. Please enter an account name below. Profanity or anti-corporate slang or jargon is not accepted. So we're going to, of course, be Foxy Games. Revival Package. We proudly offer our Body and Mind Revival program to new employees. Below are the details of your selected Revival Package. Terran Health Board Advisory. Cloning has a 0.02% chance of DNA corruption. So basically, shipbreaking is a dangerous activity. It is a dangerous job. Death and dismemberment are common. So you'll be cloned. But it costs you 150,000 credits every time you have to be cloned. But with the difficulty rating that I chose, they're unlimited. Because I honestly don't know how badly I'm going to screw up at this. Alright. Voice ID verification. To verify your identity, confirm the voice file you submitted in your original application. LYNX Vox ID is a security measure that protects your data. That one's fine. Orientation, that's just either standard or inverted. I'm just going to do standard. Meal preference. Our food processors can serve a variety of dietary preferences. Food cost is based on current market value and may change over time. So we have a choice of chicken, plastic-free, which in itself is a concerning option, vegetarian, or entomotarian, which I believe means you eat bugs. But we like chicken here, so we're going to go with chicken. Now, of course, we have to agree to certain things. I have no criminal record in the Terran or Martian zones. A record in the Jovian frontier is acceptable. I am not a member of, and have never associated with, a workers' union or other labor interest. Concerning. Also, apparently, having a record in the Jovian frontier is acceptable, so I guess there's a certain lawlessness in the colonies out by Jupiter. I have completed my annual medical exam and have been cleared of having McCullough's lung, probably from mining on certain planets or asteroids. I have no commercial or real estate interests on Luna, in the asteroid belt, or in the nation-state of Arizona. Interesting. I will bring a positive attitude and problem-solving mindset to work every day. You bet. I understand and accept that the health risks associated with long-term exposure to a van der Waal field. I don't know what a van der Waal field is. Is that a science fiction thing or a theoretical science thing? I'll have to look that up. And, most concerning of all, I will vote for Chancellor Chun Zhang in the Pan American Senate election. Employment should never be contingent upon who you're going to vote for, but you're going to see that Earth in 2329 exists in a basically a dark capitalist future. Alright. Now, you know what? I'll read this, and if you guys want to skip it, that's fine. This agreement is made as of the 9th day of November, 2329, between LYNX Corporation, Department of Salvage and Reclamation, incorporated under the laws of the Solar Industries Commission, LYNX, and myself, Citizen LF2911805, employee. Employee hereby grants permission to LYNX the authority to collect, analyze, and utilize their biometric data for use to better the lives and well-being of them and their co-workers, as well as for any other purpose. Employee hereby grants permission to LYNX the authority to perform psychological tests on them at any time, with or without their knowledge. Employee is not entitled to compensation for participation in these tests, but may receive additional sugar cube rations. Sugar cube rations. Interesting. Employee hereby grants permission to LYNX the authority to garnish their wages if their actions or lack thereof result in any real or potential losses for the company and or any of its affiliates. Employee hereby grants permission to LYNX the authority in perpetuity to record and own their DNA and to create new entities with that DNA with no restrictions or limits. Furthermore, employee agrees to pay a nominal fee for this service in the event of their death while performing the duties of their position. LYNX may execute these entities at any time for acts of gross negligence. Employee hereby grants permission to LYNX the authority to study, manipulate, reciprocate, and duplicate any and all of my gray and white matter at any time, in the unfortunate event of my total complete loss of memory. Employee hereby grants permission to LYNX the authority to transfer any and all unpaid debts owed to LYNX and or any of its affiliates to their next of kin, in the event that they are terminated, disappear, and or perma-perish. LYNX reserves the rights to terminate this contract at any time, without notice or payment in lieu, with no requirements of sufficient cause. We do have the option to skip training. We're not going to. We're going to certify and sign our entire existence away to this faceless, careless company. In a future not so unimaginable. Also, this game's soundtrack is beautiful.
Each day he steps into the yard to earn his wages working hard. I pray to the stars and heaven above to return my daddy to those he loves. If there comes a time when he and death meet, bless the next cutter that takes his seat.
What a lovely opening. You get to see the state of lower Earth orbit. It is absolutely cluttered with debris and stations and starships.
To Morgan Station. Before we jump in here, Cutter, it's customary to observe a moment of silence for a departing shipbreaker. You'll soon learn this type of thing doesn't happen very often up here. Okay. Well, my name is Weaver. I'll be your eyes and ears when you're in the yard. Used to be a cutter myself until there were some complications with one of my clone jobs, but never you mind about that.
He's a bit quiet. Let me turn him up. Let's turn these down to about half-ish. Keep speech up, cinematics up. A little more on the master volume. That seems right. Alright, open your work order. We have to press tab.
You ever want to pay off your debt like Sullivan did? It's all about completing your work orders.
Thrust forward. Thrust backward for 3 seconds. Alright, so you can see the controls on that onboarding manual. W and S, forward and back. You can also strafe with the A and D keys. Standard, really. Space goes up. C goes down, which we have to do for 3 seconds. Holding down Control stops you. And Q and E allow you to roll. Brake for 3 seconds. There we go. That's holding Control.
Alright. These next two maneuvers are tough for most worms to wrap their heads around because most of you have never spent time in zero-G. We call them rolls. Give them a shot.
Roll left. And roll right.
Alright, Cutter. Your training ship is right there in the middle of the yard.
Let's go check it out.
Let's talk about the grapple tool for a moment, shall we? Specifically, how you use it. Now you can pull things towards you using the grapple's reel ability. If you reel in an object that's lighter than you, you'll pull that object towards you. But if you reel in an object that's heavier than you, well, you're going to pull yourself towards it. Once you've grabbed the antenna with your grapple, your HUD tells you where you should put it. You've got furnaces and processors on the left and right, while the barge is underneath the ship.
Okay, so I kind of just demonstrated that. Every object has weight, so if I tether the training ship and reel using the right click button, I pull myself toward it because it's heavier. But if I tether this antenna and reel, it's lighter, so I pull it toward me. Now, I don't want to throw it in the orange furnace or the blue processor. This, as you see on my HUD, right below my my little pointer there, it wants me to put it in the barge, so I will then shoot it down toward the barge.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits.
Same thing for this antenna. Each part of the ship will go in a certain spot.
Well, congratulations there, Cutter. Your very first pieces of salvage. Another billion or so of them antenna, and you will have completely wiped out your debt. I'm kidding, of course. Alright, Cutter. You ready to perform a little zero-G ship surgery?
Oh, you know I am, Weaver.
Let's boot up your scanner and see what we see. Now we're looking for cut points. Think of them as the chunks of glue that hold the key structural segments of the ship together. Bingo.
That would be
Just
these.
got the go-ahead from Control to unlock your cutting tool. You may now equip the Stinger head mount. I'm uploading the final work order objective required to complete your certification rank 1 training, and yep, you guessed it. Let's get them nacelles on the barge with them new tools of yours. Now make sure you don't let your cutter overheat while you're slicing away. You can hear it chirp when it's just about to overheat, or you can keep an eye on the temperature gauge in the lower right of your HUD.
Alright, let's go ahead and attack the cut point on the engine nacelle here. Very good. This nacelle is now free. It's a bit heavier than the antennas, so inertia will take a bit longer to pull it down. Press the F button or middle click to emit a burst from your grapple gun, and that will send it flying. Now that that's going down to the barge and we know it's going to make it, we'll cut the second one loose. Oh, gotta get a bit closer.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Give it a few good boosts, and down it goes, to be caught in the barge.
And that's what it's all about, Cutter. The more work orders you complete, the closer you get to hitting your certification quotas. Go ahead and see where you're at on earning your first cert.
Check out certification. 17 of 17.
Earning certs gives you access to better upgrades and perks for your tools, gear, and equipment, as well as access to more valuable ships back in your hab. Speaking of which, let's mosey on over to your personal habitation unit right now, because that's what you do when you finish your shift. You didn't think LYNX made you sleep out here in the yard, did you? Weaver out.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised considering the way they treat their employees, but you know, nice to have a place to lay my head. First shift ended. Training shift, anyway. Congratulations, Shipbreaker. Your hard work has not gone unnoticed. You have achieved the prestigious rank of basic certification. So, we got the +1 modular laser cutter upgrade and ship class 1 certification. Yes, you can only work on certain ships depending on your rank. And as you can see, we have a debt of just about 1 billion, I believe 1 billion? Yeah, it was 1 billion credits, because we now have a debt of 99,814,000. It's a bit jarring, but you can see those nacelles are worth 150,000 each. So, if we work hard, we can
Top of the morning to you,
take care of
Cutter.
that debt.
As you know by now, this is your hat. I know it feels a bit flat right now, but I hear LYNX is looking into fixing it up real nice for you sometime in the near future. Anyway, says here you're gonna need an upgrade to complete your next certification rank. You're gonna like this one, Cutter. Let's check it out now, shall we?
Alright. The Class 6 Industrial Grade Modular Laser is a shipbreaker's pride and joy. This model accepts a multitude of head mounts to cover any salvage situation. All Deli brand cutting tools are made with only the finest heat-resistant materials, painstakingly assembled by skilled craftspeople at our Sea of Tranquility facility. Deli is not responsible for injury or death caused by improper or proper use, handling, care, or storage of the tool. Please read the enclosed Tools and Safety Agreement for more details. Alright. The Stinger is what we were using before. Now we're getting the split saw.
Good. Now let's get back to the yard so you can try this sucker out.
Sounds good. Now, we can upgrade other things in the future. And, well, we do have 450 points to spend. So, let's take a look and see. This requires certification rank 4. Looks like nothing else is available at level 2. So, we won't worry about that now. And it looks like it won't let us look at anything else. Oops, I hit the quit button by mistake. That was dumb of me. Alright, I fucked up by accidentally hitting quit, but we're back.
Ship catalog. Here is where you find a selection of ships LYNX has deemed ready for salvage. As I said before, earning certifications will open up higher grade ships. But we gotta learn to walk before we run, Cutter, so let's get back to finishing your plate on that LYNX training vessel. Weaver out.
Let's do it. Yes.
Alright, Cutter, another shift, another credit. Today's goal is to complete your certification rank 2. And in order to do that, we're gonna have to light up that new split saw mode you just upgraded in the hab. Go ahead and equip it now.
This is kind of like the plasma cutter in Dead Space.
Cutter. It's time to take the training wheels off and let you loose on this thing. My advice is to knock out your work order first, and then see if you can salvage every last bit of the training vessel. We call it using the whole buffalo. Waste not, want not, right, Cutter? Go get 'em, Tiger. Weaver out.
So the split saw, as you see, cuts in a straight line. It makes short work of most cut points. And this is going to teach you about hardness. Now, the split saw and the stinger can't pierce these nanocarbon panels. They're a bit too tough, and they want to go to the processor anyway. But these aluminum panels, on the other hand, which are typically interior panels, are weaker, and therefore can be cut just fine by the split saw. And you want to get as close to the edge as possible. It can be a bit finicky, but in so doing, you get a nice chunk of that aluminum that you can then pull out. And it's so satisfying when you get this right. I don't know why the nacelles are back, by the way. I know I salvaged them. Oh shit. No. You get over there. I know I salvaged them the last time. So that panel just decided it's gonna just do its own thing. It goes into the furnace. Lovely.
New certification level awarded. License upgraded.
Lovely. Not sure why it's fallen apart. Oh, probably because I cut the things. Whatever. Anyway. So we're going to salvage everything.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Let's just nudge that piece toward the processor there. And then nudge the nacelle down toward the barge. Hopefully this goes where it's supposed to. Oh god, look what I'm doing. Oh god. Something got in the way, and now... Well, let's at least send this antenna down there quick.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credit transferred.
Let's get that thruster moving. See if we can't get some stuff out of the way. Go! Go! Okay, that looks like it'll make it just fine. And we will get some tools that make it easier to get stuff where we need it to go.
Valuable object. Credits awarded.
About 3 boosts should do it for that.
Salvage secured.
Alright, we've completed 1 work order for salvaging nanocarbon. And the cells are going where they need to go.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
And they want us to salvage these soft crates as well.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Ouch. You can get hurt, and of course you can die. Hitting yourself in the face a little too hard, or getting crushed, or flinging yourself into the furnace or processor. All of these things will get you killed. Getting caught in explosions or electrical hazards will of course get you killed as well. Let's see, did I get all the cut points? Looks like I did. Very good. Doesn't look like these are separate, though, for some reason. Well, that is. Very lovely. Alright, bring it to a stop, and push. And I imagine the same will be true for the top piece. Oh, yes. That is just lovely. Give it a push. And another. And as long as it hits within that hazard line there, generally it will be caught in that gravity well and get pulled in. Now,
Valuable object processed.
there are
Credits
bits
deposited.
of this that want to go to the processor. Most of it wants to go to the furnace, though. So in a case like this, I usually just shove the whole damn thing to the furnace. It's not worth your time or your energy. It's not moving, is it? Well, we'll have to break it up into smaller bits after all, but usually it's not worth your time or your energy to hack little bits of things off. It's usually better just to get everything, as much as possible. Or maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm just dumb. But that's how I feel about it. So, that being said, let's go ahead and get these pieces. It will definitely lighten this whole affair. Oh, come on, you. Well, maybe we could do it this way. It seems to be moving now. There we go. We even got a nice little spin on it. Still can't seem to get it to move all that quickly, though.
Material deposited.
Nice job, Cutter. Now get back to your hab to end your shift and spend them shiny new LYNX tokens on upgrading your gear. We've wrapped.
We'll do that, but I want to go ahead and get as much out of this thing as we can, just 'cause. It's fun that way. And there's nothing more satisfying in this game than watching the final piece of a ship float into the furnace or the processor, realizing that you've just taken an entire starship and recycled it. There we go. Bye-bye, cube! And we wasted not a single piece of it. Look at all those stations, too. Many of which are probably just like ours. Shipbreakers. And we even get a nice look at planet Earth, which has definitely seen better days. Look at how brown that land is. Also, if that's North America, Florida seems to be gone, which is bad news for me, because that's where I live. But alas, our shift is over. Alright. Recruit, rank 3. And we unlocked a utility grapple. Now, if you take a look here, we salvaged a whole bunch of stuff. It'll say like the antenna base and some titanium and nanocarbon were destroyed. That's because things went where they weren't really supposed to. It really doesn't matter that much. It's only 100 kilograms or 98 kilograms. And like I said, hacking off little tiny pieces isn't usually worth your time or energy. But we earned a good 368,520 credits. Only still 99.5 million to go.
Well, congratulations on completing certification rank 2 there, Cutter. Now that you've proven you kind of know what you're doing out there, LYNX has a present for you. Go ahead and make your way to the equipment upgrade screen and let's see what we see.
Don't be afraid of the handheld utility grapple. Instead, thank this handy little device for making your job so easy. This model is a 5th generation van der Waal field emitter device, Y-09 Mark 8-J trademark, Gen 5 VD WFED-Y-09 Mark 8-J for short. That's short, huh? Is capable of moving massive pieces of salvage. It can be outfitted to place remote tether fields for complex operations. LYNX would like to remind all employees that spreading rumors of the deleterious health effects from van der Waal field exposure is against the Employee Discipline and Conduct Agreement. Now, we can get tethers.
Repeat after me, Cutter. Tethers are your friends. Let's select your next ship and head out into the yard to try them out.
Tethers make things so much easier, and you're about to see why. Once again, can't do any of this other stuff, so... Oops, wrong button. We're going to go back into the yard. Let's take a look at the ship catalog. And do our first real ship. It's still a training mackerel, but it's quite a bit larger. Yes.
Alright, Cutter. This here mackerel is stripped down, but there's still plenty there for us to sink our teeth into, such as how we're going to deal with the pressurized areas. But before we get into all that, let's try out your tethers. Your tethers are far stronger than the line on your grapple. Use them when you're trying to move objects that are much heavier than you are. Also, tethers stack, meaning the more you use, the stronger the pull you get out of them. If you put them in the right place, that is.
Let's get in there and see how it works. Alright. So these nacelles, they're already detached. And they're really, really heavy. You can't even push them. So, we're going to go to an advantageous spot on them, say the bottom, hold right click, and release right click to place a tether, or two.
Nice work, Cutter. Like I said, tethers are your friends. Once you get the hang of them, you can get pretty creative with how you use them. Alright, now for the fun stuff. And when I say fun, I mean incredibly dangerous. Next, we're going to learn about pressurization. According to LYNX, decompression events are the #1 cause of death, and as a result, cloning. Alright, let's open up your scanner and see what we see. Let's see if we can crack into this ship without making her pop. See that airlock over there? Let's go check it out.
Yes, decompression events are no joke in this game, which I imagine they're not in real life either. But, well, let's get inside.
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
First, we have to cycle the airlock.
Using airlocks is always a good idea, but there may be times later when you encounter ships without functioning airlocks. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, Cutter. For now, let's get inside. Alright, let's see if there's a way to depressurize this sucker so we can get to work on it. Look for an atmosphere regulator. If it's working, this device will let us depressurize the room safely. You don't want to trigger a violent decompression, believe me. Now, sometimes you're going to want to depressurize a ship violently. If you don't want to get sucked through a 1-inch hole fracture, use your hands to grab onto any nearby surface. Just make sure it's nailed down. Alrighty, I'm lighting up your work order with the rest of the objectives for this ship.
Well, he says he's doing that, but he isn't yet. Ah, there we go.
There she is, the reactor. That's your meal ticket right there, Cutter. Alright, this one's pretty easy. She should just slide out of her coolant casing with a good yank from your grapple. But before you do that, it's always a good idea to clear a path for her straight to the barge, because once you pull it, she starts melting down. And when it comes to reactors, you never know how many ticks you got till she goes boom. Alright, the way you complete your work order from here on out is entirely up to you. Let's show LYNX old Weaver still knows how to turn worms into shipbreakers, alright? Good luck, Cutter. Weaver out.
Alright, let's get cutting. First things first, if we want to pull that reactor, the first thing we have to do, as Weaver said, is make ourselves a hole. You do have more time than it seems to get a pulled reactor to the barge, but it's still a scary experience. And you don't want it getting stuck. So let's get that into the processor.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Alright, here we go. Alright, this one actually doesn't have a very long timer.
Warning.
Ow.
Electrical damage.
Oh yeah, sometimes it'll do that too.
Nice work.
Level attained. License level increased.
Oh yeah, when you get shocked, sometimes your radio malfunctions and plays music. Oh, that hurt. That took off a quarter of my health. Oh yeah, I'm trying to get rid of this onboarding manual thing, but it doesn't seem to want to go away. So anyway, that was our first reactor pull. I probably should have been a bit quicker about it, but that's okay. Yeah, you see my HUD is still messing up a little bit from that. This game has a very good sense of humor. Oh shit, something was still pressurized. Ah, it was that interior part of the ship. You know what though, that's fine. We got to preview what an explosive decompression looked like. And really, it's not that bad. Let's be honest here. Let's go ahead and shove that engine nacelle down into the barge. And take care of the back paneling here. Let's see, did they leave the the engine cap on? They did. So let's go ahead and detach the thruster cap. That's a nice solid chunk of change for us.
Credits deposited.
That goes over to the processor, the blue. You can go there. Let's see. How about the reactor cap? We'll worry about that later. Now these guys, especially when you get toward the back of the ship, sometimes it's a bit of a pain. Oh yeah, and your tethers will break if there's no line of sight between where you placed it and where you place the end. But that seems to be going exactly where I need it, so we're not going to worry about that. We do also have cut points here on the interior. Come on, you. And we will cut every single one of these. And you'll really start to see where it feels like you're... Ow.
Cutting tool overload detected. Health levels are low. Remember, a healthy cutter is a productive cutter.
That was ouch. And now you've seen what it looks like when something overheats. Because I got impatient. A lot of firsts today. Must be a good day.
Well, Cutter, looks like you can manage on your own for a bit, which is good, because I just got assigned another worm on a salvage station on the other side of Earth Village. Just a reminder that your training amounts for O2, tethers, and fuel will be reset once you start your next shift. I'll be back to check in on you from time to time, but until then, remember this. Measure twice, cut once, and tethers are your friends. Good luck out there, Cutter. We've out.
Tethers are your friends. Alright. Let's go ahead and finish up this ship for the extra cash. And then we'll head back to the hab. And we'll see what's next for us. Anyway, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by my tools overheating, now you're at this point when you have all those cut points done, you get to really see when taking apart a ship feels more like peeling an orange.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
You see this fucking antenna base? I could take the split saw and just line it up and very carefully, very meticulously... But it's such a small amount of material. Like, look at it. It was 6 kilograms. It's not worth it. So they might scold you for it, but ignore it because it doesn't matter.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
Let's use the split saw just for efficiency's sake. Yeah, look at that. Oh, here we go. We're also going to remove the airlock. Something that's always quite fun, because it has a tendency to depressurize violently. Yep, there it goes. And it tends to pull the entire ship apart. So be careful where you cut. Luckily, it was still attached, so it didn't really pull anything apart. If it had, it probably would have kicked a bunch of things to where they didn't belong. And we would have gotten paid less, if at all, for those parts. So be very selective about where you're cutting. Oh. Also be careful about overheating. Alright, let's give this a shove. And start to see the panels separating. We can kind of squeeze out. Be careful when you do this. Sometimes you get crushed between them even though you really shouldn't. The game is still in early access. Here's another antenna that I somehow missed.
Salvage secured.
Account credit applied.
Go ahead and peel the orange, as it were. And before we go anywhere, let's go ahead and open up the airlock. Oh, right. The airlock doesn't work anymore because we removed the power. So we'll just take the airlock console and give it to the barge. And now our only way in is through the rear of the ship. So before we take out the airlock, let's peel the rest of the orange. Yeah. Without overheating it, thank you. Now, unfortunately, we will probably have to break some of these doors, which means less material, but it's whatever, to be honest. Separate the front of the ship from the rear. Separate the top panels. And the ship has no cargo or innards to speak of, but at this point we would be basically plundering them, because we would have the flooring out, and there'd be nothing stopping us. But since all we have is hull, we will take care of hull. And one little nudge gets these guys in a spin, but it's fine. Here, let's cancel that. Cancel. Oh, wrong button. Let's get you over here and shove you in that. You can go over to that processor. Now, as for the airlock, we are going to have to bust open the door, and we'll use the stinger for that. I didn't quite do it. And that's really just so we can take this. Because after that, really, what part of this is... Really? That tiny bit of aluminum there? No way. Now some of this can actually go to the barge. And this goes to the processor, so... is it separated yet? Doesn't look like it. Does it have any cut points anymore? Doesn't look like it. Ah, whatever. We'll do this and see what happens. Oh yeah, look at that! Haha! This goes to the barge, then. You see, they've updated this game since the last time I played it, so... We didn't used to be able to do that with the airlock.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
This piece of nanocarbon can go in there. Look at that. Oh, hi. I don't think I meant to take the whole damn cockpit. But that's okay. That's okay. It just makes this finish up a bit quicker so we can get to more real missions. Aside from these two top pieces and a little bit else, I think we can start just kicking the rest of it over to the furnace.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Look at all that.
Object not accepted.
Yeah.
Please
So
revisit your
we threw some glass into here when we shouldn't have, but let's be honest here. 400 kilograms versus the ridiculous amounts of stuff.
Pressure level decreasing.
Something depressurized in there for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I'm not particularly concerned with it. It's their problem now. And that's the attitude they want at LYNX. No, that's the opposite of the attitude they want.
Credits awarded.
Looks like everything else here can go into the furnace, so we're going to get to watch this entire chungus go there. By the way, you won't have infinite tethers through the entirety of your career, like I do now. This is just the training mission. You start off with a particularly low number, and then you have to buy more from your HAB computer. We don't want it going that way. Not at all. So we're going to pull you using as many tethers as we can attach to it. You see that one already doesn't like it. Ah, but it cannot resist the pull. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you recycle an entire mackerel. At least a gutted one. It will take sometimes multiple shifts. There it goes. Goodbye.
Raw material processed. Credits deposited.
And just watch it burn. You're gonna become a new starship someday. But for us, well, we've got a... oh, look at all that. Some dirt. We've got us a clear bay and hopefully a soft bed waiting for us back at home. Alright, rank 4. And we got some heckin' upgrades here. And we could even go to ship class 2. So as you can see here, we made 2.25 million credits. A pretty decent chunk. That reactor and all the nanocarbon that we salvaged were the most profitable. Oh, right. You also have to pay interest on your loan, because that's what this debt is. It's a loan. There's your bay lease, your transportation fees, your tool rentals, your cutter and grapple, your HAB rent, your utilities, your helmet, scanners, suit and thruster rentals. That took a cool 500,000 credits away from what I got. So, I'm still in the green. I dubbed the Shipbreaker. Very good. Safety third. I'm sure profit and productivity are first and second. Alright. So let's see. We have stickers. Holy shit. It's locked. Oh well. I don't give a fuck. Let's go back. Let's see what we can upgrade. Now, where is it? At rank 10, you can purchase your own tools, which will cut down on your costs. Let's see, range, heat capacity, cooldown, range, strength, tether amount is something we definitely want to get. Thrusters, top speed and fuel capacity. Let's see. Scanner. You can scan objects instead of just your structure. For the helmet, an O2 capacity is an absolute must, and that costs how much? 175 LYNX tokens, but you really want your O2 capacity to be up. Suit integrity and audio resynth. I'm really not big on those to start with. We don't get demo charges until rank 6, so we won't worry about that. Let's see. Can we unlock anything else? It doesn't look like it. But the O2 is definitely something that we were good to have. So, data recovery. You can find files and stuff like that in some of these ships. We don't have any messages. And they tell you a bit of the story of the universe. But we don't have any of that right now, so the next thing to do is start a new shift, completely off the training wheels. But we're gonna do that in the next episode of Hardspace Shipbreaker. Until then, my name is Foxy Games, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.